at Me Show. Reigning champ, Tim Keck.
Timothy Keck. You're listening to
Come at Me Show.
Come at me show.
Basketball shorts.
Come at me show. Did we say the show was good?
Hey, everybody. Here we are doing it again. How are you doing? What's going on? How are we doing today? That's the worst question when comics. It reminds me like when stand-up, when I started doing stand-up, everybody would come up top at the beginning and everyone would grab the mic and then you say, hey, how's everybody doing tonight? And that's cool. It's like a good, it's like hack for a reason because it's nice. Everyone likes being asked how they're doing. But then if there's like eight people on the show, you're like, okay, what? How am I doing? I don't know, Tim. I'm doing fine. I came here to watch the show, or in this instance, I'm listening to your podcast. I'm multitasking. I'm doing something else, and I just have you on in the background, and I just need you to keep me company for a while. Well, yes, sir, or ma'am, or whatever. I'm there for you. I got your back. I'm not going to stop asking how you're doing. I'm doing good. I'm intimidated by my iPhone. I did the iOS update, and now it looks different. It's recording me in a different way. There's red numbers across the top of the video and it's freaking me out. I don't know what it was before, but it wasn't red letters and now it's red letters and it's intimidating. It's scary. It's spooky. Kind of like Halloween, guys. Wow. I missed the mark on this one. I thought for sure I had another Halloween was next weekend. I don't know when things are. I'm bad at knowing when the things are. I can't do it. I don't know. You ask me when something is, I'm gonna get it wrong or lie to you, and those are the two options. I know. I don't know when anything is. 2 weeks ago, I was like, okay, next episode, candy. That will be the setup for the next episode, which will be Halloween, which will happen before Halloween. I was a week off. And then last week I could have corrected myself, but I doubled down because I still knew I had more time before Halloween. And it turns out I was wrong. Saturday came, and then I was also, for some reason, I was like at work, I was like, oh yeah, and Halloween's on a Friday this year, and everyone's like, it's on a Saturday. And I'm like, okay, I don't know why I'm even trying. Why I'm even trying to talk about this. I clearly don't know when things are ever. I don't know when my birthday is. I don't know when anybody's birthday. I'm always stunned by the people who know when other people's birthdays are. I have no clue when people's birthdays are. I have it in my Google Calendar. If you're important enough to me, you get in the Google Calendar, and a week before your birthday, it'll give me a little ding and say, hey, so-and-so's birthday's coming up. And I'll be like, great, I have a week to get a gift. And that's my routine. Holidays, same thing. I don't know what the rules are for when Thanksgiving is. I know that's the next holiday coming up. Don't ask me when Thanksgiving is. I have no idea, no clue. There's no way to know when Thanksgiving is. I know it's on a Thursday. I don't know which Thursday of the month. Is it the last Thursday of the month? Or is it just like the third Thursday of the month? What if there's 5 Thursdays in the month? Is Thanksgiving on the 5th Thursday then? How many days are in November? I don't know. Doesn't it change every year? Do months have the same number of days every time? Is November like always 31 days? Is that because Christmas is always on the 25th? I know Christmas is on the 25th. New Year's Eve, the 31st every year is on the right. It's the 31st all the time, or is it on the 30th? I don't know. I don't know who I'm trying to impress with this game. It's a mess. I can't do anything right. And especially with, and daylight savings is throwing me off too. I don't understand it. We lost an hour or we gained an hour over the weekend. Doesn't change anything for me. Now it's getting dark at like 4:30. So that's cool, I guess. Who is that for? Why do we want that? Do we want the sun? Why can't we it seems like we're constantly struggling between, oh, I can go to work when the sun's up, or I can go and come home in the dark, or I can go to work in the dark and come home when the sun's up. Why don't we just shorten the workday so that we can all be in the sun when we're going to and from work? Let's do that. Maybe we're working too long. Maybe that's the problem. The problem is the 40-hour work week. We have to make changes. Stop fucking with the clock. We were like, oh, let's wind it back. Let's wind it forward so people can't realize how screwed they are. I don't know. Maybe there's something there. Maybe it's a trick. It's got to be a trick. I feel like daylight savings time was for the farmers, but then it's like, so what? Then the other half of the year, the farmers don't matter. Why do we change it forward if then we change it back? I mean, it's an hour to and fro. I don't know why I'm talking about this. I don't know what daylight savings is. I think for some random reason, we move the clock back an hour and then we move it ahead an hour, and it's dumb and it's wrong. I think Arizona doesn't do it. And I respect the hell out of Arizona for just being like, you know what? F this. I'm done. We're not participating. You guys do your little clock bullshit and we'll be over here, all of us knowing what time it is, because we're not playing your dumb little game over there with your weird daylight savings. You're embarrassing yourselves trying to figure out how this thing is. Now people have to wind back their clock. Back in the day, you'd have to take like a crank, like on a Model T, and you'd have to hook that up to your cuckoo clock, and you'd have to wind that, a grandfather clock or a grandmother clock. What are they? They're old, just a term for a big old wooden clock. And you'd wind that thing up, and a bird would pop out every hour and be like, it's 5 o'clock, maybe. I don't know. Daylight savings is throwing me off. And you'd be like, thanks, bird, I guess, for being incredibly useless in this time-telling situation. Daylight savings it's dumb. We should boycott daylight savings. I'm going to boycott this. Now all these like clips are on YouTube, and I want to take some clips of the podcast, put them on Instagram. I never know which clips to use. They all make me sound dumb. I just sound like an idiot. I'm going to post a clip online of me not knowing what daylight savings is. Sure. Yeah, I'll do that. And I'm wearing my gray shirt. I have just a bunch of, you ever buy a pack of t-shirts and you get black shirts in it and you're like, cool, I'll wear these black shirts. And then you get gray shirts and it's like, who wears gray? Who wears gray shirts ever? I've never seen anyone in a gray shirt. White shirt is a statement. You're like, cool, I'm wearing a white shirt. I'm very confident I'm not going to spill anything on this. That's what white says. White says I'm either too rich to care if I spill on this shirt, or two, I'm just that confident in my skills. I will never get sauce on this shirt. That's what it's saying. I will never spill wine on this shirt. I'm never going to have a toothbrushing incident where I get a little toothpaste on the shirt and it's there all day. That was a thing. I remember that was tough for me as a kid. I remember growing up, I had my shirt situation was a mess. I don't know what my parents were thinking letting me dress myself. I remember going to like elementary school, and at a certain point I was like, I really wanted to be like a big kid. I was a big kid, but I wanted to be the biggest kid. And I was like, oh, the way you know how big you are is by how big your shirt is. And so I was like, cool, I'm just going to wear extra large shirts because that would mean I'm an extra large guy. And so I'm going to school in these like adult extra larges. Was that what happened? It feels like it. I need to find some photos of this. I just remember, I feel like I was constantly swimming in a big shirt because I'm like, oh, well, this means I'm an adult. This means I'm a big kid. But instead of just being a little kid in too big a shirt. And one day this kid in class, I forget what his name is. I don't know. I don't know what happened to him. He could be dead. He's probably fine. I don't know. I have no idea who this kid was, but I remember him being very cool. And I had gotten an unnecessary, an unimaginable, an unscrutable. I got a shit ton of toothpaste all over my shirt, and it had just like stained. If you ever got, I don't even remember. It's been so long. Now I'm wondering if the average person understands that if you get toothpaste on like your shirt and you don't like wash it out, it'll just like stay there I guess that's anything, right? If you spill something on something and you don't wash it up, it's still there. Yeah, that makes sense. That tracks, Tim. But I remember getting like toothpaste stain. They weren't stains because they would come out in the wash, but it was like, oh, now my shirt. I tried to wipe off the toothpaste and it's just a big white spot on my shirt. And one of the kids was like, oh yeah, toothpaste stain. And I was like, I guess so. And he's like, I got it. I've been there. And I was like, damn, dude, you're the coolest. You're the coolest kid. Your shoes are so big and you probably skate. That is awesome, man. You are the best. And you have my respect because I was a funny guy with toothpaste on my shirt. What do you do? What can you do? So that's it. What was I talking about? Daylight savings is dumb. Moving on. You know what else is dumb? What I find ignorant. I've seen a bunch of these posts, and it was popular a while ago. Was the whole like mantra, motto, slogan. All these girls were saying it was like it's a fancy thing to put on like a t-shirt, or like I feel like it's a kind of publicity that a library uses, or like a bookstore to move product. They're selling shirts and bags and things and stickers and whatever that say, oh, if you go home with a guy and he doesn't have books, don't sleep with him. That's a famous quote. It's from somebody, but I don't know. I didn't do the research. You didn't come here for research. You came here for hard-hitting, off-the-cuff analysis of things I'm ignorant about. Anyway, I think that's maybe a dumb statement nowadays. Back in the day when whoever it was made that and they were like an old, a young woman in like the 1930s, it made sense because print media was the only thing we had. But now we have podcasts. You like listening to a podcast, especially mine, is like the equivalent. Scientists say that it's the equivalent of listening to a great work of literature. You can listen to my podcast or you can read Moby Dick. Either way, you're learning, you're expanding your mind. You are getting, you're getting as much out of it as you possibly can. So why not, when you go over to a guy's house, find out if he reads or listens to podcasts. Maybe that's it. Does he own books? What do you talk? What in an apartment in Brooklyn? You're telling me this moron is going to take up valuable shelf space with books and paper, with tree carcasses? This tree murderer doesn't care about the environment. Insists on still buying paperback books when you can buy a Kindle. Does he have a Kindle? Ask him that. Hey, before we hook up, do you own a Kindle? Maybe he reads on his phone. Maybe you read on your laptop. I don't know. Maybe this dude's like a writer and he's just reading other stuff. There are a million different variables for this. Why am I getting so I hate I don't know. Just having books is a dumb thing. I have books. I have 3 books. They're on a shelf in my closet. Really, I'm going to bring a girl over and she's going to like start rooting. Like, and if she wanted to find these books, she'd have to do some serious digging. They're not out. They're not displayed. I don't have a library in my apartment. It's tiny. It's New York. I have a desk in my bedroom where I'm podcasting from. I am not a man of means. I'm not a bookshelf means right now. I'm not as successful as the average person with a bookshelf. Maybe that's what it is. It's really like just hook up with rich guys. That makes sense. When you watch a movie or you see I don't know, I've never seen this in anything other than a movie or a cartoon or something, where you go to the rich guy's house, they have a library in their house. How often do they spend in the library? Who's reading these books in the library? In Beauty and the Beast, they had that whole library. It was all dusty until Belle got there. Oh, the candle didn't read anything. The clock didn't read anything. The tea, Mrs. Potts and Chip, they didn't read anything. The Beast didn't know how to read. This is like the richest man in the village. This guy was so rich that he turned into a beast and nobody in the village was like friends with him. That's how rich this guy was, is he kept everyone in the village at arm's length. He kept them in low status situations. They went to balls and stuff at the castle and didn't even talk to him. He had no real friends. That's how rich this guy was. He was so rich he didn't need friends. And he didn't need a library. And he didn't need a book. He was just up in his tower, listening to podcasts, being just as smart as everyone else. And so who's using these libraries? You go to his place, these girls going over to the Beast's house, And they walk in and they see this giant dusty library and they're like, oh, cool. Now we can have sex. And it's like, what? I'm just saying, don't brush off the Kindle guy. Don't dismiss everyone so easily. Ladies, gentlemen, whatever. I don't know. I don't know things. I don't know when things are. I don't know what's going on with this. But that brings us to our new segment. I say new. It's been like the third week in a row. Here we go. One more time, and probably more times in the future, guys. It's time for thumbs up, thumbs down. Do I need intro music for this? Probably not. Who cares? Thumbs up to the Florida Gators. You did it, guys. You won a football game this weekend, and in the Halloween spirit, I felt like watching a scary movie this weekend. And I've seen them all. And by them all, I mean, I've seen a few. And the ones I wanted to see, I saw. And the ones I haven't seen yet didn't look as good to me. So I ran out of options. But there was one scary movie that had been on my list forever. Crawl. Yes. Crawl. Very exciting. Crawl. If you're not familiar with it, the premise, as far as I knew going into this, was girl in a house that's flooding during a storm. And crocodiles are in the house and they're eating everybody. And that's as much as I knew going in, and I was excited about it. Little did I suspect, but was pleasantly surprised to find out that this story takes place in Gainesville, Florida, or south of Gainesville, Florida, potentially 2 hours outside of Gainesville, Florida. Using the directions and the terminology in the thing. I had a little water on the mic. I hope that wasn't a little spit on the mic. I found. The movie opens up with shots of the Florida Gator women's swim team. Are you kidding me? A movie about Gators featuring the Florida Gators, and it's got the logo on it and everything. This isn't one of those like faked movies where they're just like, oh yeah, we're alluding to the fact that this is like a Georgia football team. This is the Florida Gators logo. How did they do that? You can't just put logos and stuff, can you? I can't just be wearing... I don't know. Maybe I'm probably going to wear Florida Gator stuff in this show at some point, but you can't just make a movie and have whatever, all these Gator logos in it. Can you? You can't just make a movie about the NFL and have all the NFL teams in it, right? Remember Any Given Sunday? They were playing for like the Las Vegas Sharks or something like that. Willie Beam and the Jamie Foxx character. They were on like the Sharks. They were in like these you ever watch one of these sports movies and all the teams are made up? They're in the NFL and they're like playing for like the Oakland Rangers or something like that, or the Dallas Sugarfoots. What is that? Is that a thing? Oh man. Hope that's not offensive. I don't know what that is. What's a Sugarfoot? Sounds like a term for diabetes. Is that it? I don't know. Moving on. But these guys, you turn on the movie, Florida Gator Florida Gator swim team. And the lead character, she loses a race and she goes into the locker room. She FaceTimes her sister. Then she changes her clothes. I don't know why she FaceTime. A sister calls. You can just talk to her on the phone. I don't know why you're FaceTiming with her while you're getting naked in the locker room with all the girls in the locker room. I don't want anybody FaceTiming when I'm in the locker room. All right. That's between me and God and whichever woman finds the books in my apartment. All right. I don't need anybody's sister broadcasting my business everywhere, you know? And then she goes to this place, find whatever. They're battling alligators. Cut to the chase. She goes to her dad's place. It floods. There's gigantic alligators all in this movie, and this neighborhood floods, and they're swimming around and they're chomping on everybody, and it's awesome and it's cool, and they're just chomping people to bits and they're tearing dudes apart. And then this girl, I mean, there are a handful of people in this movie. It's not the most accurate thing I've ever seen in terms of just gator survival and gator interactions, right? These are alligators. They're not generally super aggressive. The crocodile's aggressive. I understand. Gators sounds better, makes more sense in Florida, but these are not incredibly aggressive animals, right? Generally a little more mild mannered. The Clark Kent to the Superman of the crocodile. And And these guys are attacking everyone with a relentless fury that I find a little suspect. Regardless, they are gigantic. They are bigger than humans. They're the biggest crocodiles I've seen since Lake Placid. And they are just chomping people to bits. Except sometimes someone gets bit and they just like get away, which is insane. It's crazy. One dude just got clawed. They find him and he's got claw marks on his shoulder. Like somehow the gator got up to his face and like scratched him. Like this is insane. You get attacked by an alligator, something gets bitten off, or you die. Those are the scenarios. Those are the scenarios. One person gets like gator rolled for like 10 minutes and then just comes up to the surface and is fine. And this maybe that happens. Maybe it happens. It probably does happen. But then they're able to like get up and run away. It just seems, I feel like if a gator gets you, it gets you. Or it takes a limb, it takes a bite out of you, it does something. I don't know. You can go for the eyes. They were going for the eyes. The other trick, if you're ever attacked by an alligator and it swallows your whole arm, if you're in the water, they have like a little flap in the back of their throat that like lifts up and like blocks and prevents water from going into their mouth. So if you get your arm bit, you can you should reach to the back of their throat. I've never done this personally, but if you reach to the back of their throat, you can push that flap down and water will go in and they'll start drowning and then they'll let go of you. So, I don't know. I've never done it before, but it seems like a good idea. So thumbs up to the Florida Gators. You were in a horror movie. You allowed that to happen, or maybe they stole it. I don't know. I hope I didn't blow up anyone's spot by saying the Florida Gators are in it, because it's great. It got me excited. Anyway, thumbs up to Florida Gators. Thumbs up Sean Connery. R.I.P. to a real one. Sean Connery died over the weekend. A legend, a king among kings. Guy was incredible, fantastic actor, James Bond, and more importantly, the League of Extraordinary Gentlemen. Now he is in heaven in an extraordinary league of angels. So God bless him. Indiana Jones, The Rock, all classics. I got to watch more Sean Connery movies. My favorite Sean Connery. Maybe my favorite Sean Connery moment, not really a movie, but in Robin Hood, Prince of Thieves, which is the Kevin Costner movie, Morgan Freeman plays his Middle Eastern companion, which is strange casting. At the very end of the movie, Sean Connery shows up as King Richard, and it's a bad movie probably, but I love it. I have sentimental value towards it. It's like one of the first R movies I saw, maybe. I don't know if that's true, and it's just so corny and dumb, and I love it, and it's such a fun movie. And then just to take it over the top, Sean Connery, a bona fide star at the time, shows up for like 2 seconds at the end of the movie as King Richard, and it just made me love him. I like any celebrity who like comes in for a cameo, anyone where you're watching a movie and you're just like, oh, Brad Pitt didn't need to do that. And you're just like, yes. That's a king move, doing a friend a favor. Someone's shooting the movie and they're just like, hey, we need you for 2 hours. Is that all right? And they're like, yeah, man, I got time. That's a king move. That's great. Thumbs up to Sean Connery. Good luck, bud. You did great. You did good stuff for us. And I hope you are doing okay wherever you are. The best to your family and friends. Thumbs down. Saturday Night Live political sketches. I don't want to... I guess I can't speak to that. I haven't watched them. I haven't been watching SNL because I don't watch SNL because I have standards. That's mean. I mean, people watch SNL, people like SNL, but SNL is, I've just been hearing bad things about their political sketches. And of course, I think like the SNL curse is that it was always better before. Right? Isn't that the thing? I grew up watching like Will Ferrell and all these people on there, and it was awesome, but I was only watching them on like reruns on Comedy Central. So they were probably already gone then. I grew up idolizing these people who were like no longer on SNL. And it just feels like that now. Every time you're looking at the cast, you're watching, you're just like, oh man, it used to be better. Boy, it was good back then. Even if like now is the time that people are going to be looking back on, you're always thinking, oh man, SNL used to be better. Their political stuff now. I don't understand why no one in the cast can do a Joe Biden. Really? They're bringing in Jim Carrey. I haven't seen it. I can tell you it's not great. I can tell you it's not great. Maya Rudolph playing Kamala Harris, probably good. Maya Rudolph's incredible. Not that Jim Carrey's not incredible, but he's not a Joe Biden incredible. Maya Rudolph can do anything. If you're telling me she does a great Kamala Harris, I'm all in on it. But she's not in the cast. She's just some celebrity. Why are they doing this? Alec Baldwin was playing Trump. Get over it. We don't need that. Get someone in the cast. You've got like 35 people in the cast, and no one there can do an impression of the most popular and influential people on the planet. Really? No one else can take a stab at it. It's gross. Just going for a ratings grab, SNL. Pathetic. Please hire me. I don't know. I feel like SNL is partially responsible for Trump being president. And so I just can't take anything they say of substance anymore. You know, I just can't. I don't know if you guys remember, before Trump got elected, he was hosting SNL and they were doing all these jokes about when he's president and blah, 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 and making fun of him. But also it was like, oh yeah, great publicity for this guy who it turns out is really popular against a candidate that everybody hated in Hillary Clinton. And people loved that he was on SNL and saw that and thought it was pretty darn cool. And then after he's on SNL, wow, all of a sudden he starts doing better. And he's the rep of the Republican Party. And SNL does all these bits about, you know what, everybody should be voting. But regardless of who wins and loses, you know, well, everything's going to be all right. And it's Hillary Clinton and it's Donald Trump rolling around in the New York street, hugging each other and saying, you know what, everything's going to be all right. And then Trump wins. And they start off the next episode with Kate McKinnon as Hillary Clinton playing the piano and singing Hallelujah, as if like the great travesty has fallen our country. And then she turns to the camera and goes, if we can get through the whatever, we can get through this. I don't know what she said. It was stupid and sappy and dumb. And it was your fault, SNL. You guys legitimized this dude. And you're partially responsible for him being elected. You can't turn around and get buyer's remorse. All right. You can't have a guy host your show, your network show, give him that boost in popularity that he needed. Get him over the hump. Help him get elected, and then turn around and be like, oh my God, but we'll get through this together. Like, oh, screw you guys. You're part of the problem. Please hire me. I would love a job working for you. Thumbs down. Saturday Night Live political sketches. Again, I haven't seen them, but I imagine they're bad. Thumbs up. We'll end on a thumbs up. Throwing clothes away. Guys, winter is coming. Some would say it is here. Again, I don't know when things are, and winter is one of them. It feels like winter has started. I'm going to go ahead and say it is winter. I'm cold. That's all I need to know. It's hot, then it's nice, then it's cold. I'm cold. Winter is here. I didn't think I'm not going to say that. I had to dig up all of my winter stuff. I had it all packed from my old apartment. I had it in the back of a closet, and then I went out on Halloween to hang out with people, and I didn't even have jeans. I had to find some jeans. I had to find a sweater. I had to find all these things. And you know what? As I'm going through it, I'm like, wait, why do I have 6 light jackets? You can wear a light jacket in New York for exactly 4 weeks of the year. 2 pre-winter, 2 after winter, and the rest of the time, heavy jacket or nothing. Why do I have 6 light jacket? And they're all black or gray. That is they're all like the same color spectrum. It's not like I have a blue jacket, like a bright blue jacket that's fun. And to mix it up, I have a black jacket and a black sweater and a black hoodie and then a black jacket. And it's like, I got rid of some of them. I say I got rid of some of them. They're in a bag. I don't know what to do with them. I want to donate them, but they're not accepting any donations in New York because of COVID. So I can't. They're just sitting in my closet, but I'm gotten rid of them. Mentally, they are gone and I feel free. So thumbs up to throwing clothes away, or donating them, but just mentally, I'm throwing them away. Mentally, they are gone. I have decluttered my life. I only have 2 light jackets now. That's a huge upgrade. And now eventually when I figure out how to donate stuff, you know, other people in the city who need it are going to get 4 okay looking light jackets of a color of gray or black. And that's pretty rad. So I feel good. Thumbs up for throwing clothes away. Let's get on topic, shall we? Halloween. It already happened. Oh, Halloween. I like Halloween. Okay. If I'm listing my favorite holidays, I don't know. It's up there, I guess. It's a good one. Every holiday is like an excuse. Halloween is I don't know. I associate Christmas with like going home and seeing the fam. Thanksgiving, it feels like a family or friends stuff. Feels like a family thing too. Halloween doesn't. It seems like just like partying with your friends. It just seems like a party. That's what Halloween is. When you're a kid, it's like all about the candy, all about that candy. And as an adult, it's like, I'm going to go out and get wasted in a dumb costume. And me personally, I don't love costumes. I'll say it. I don't care for it. It's not my favorite thing in the world. I've worn a New York Jets jersey to the last 5 Halloween parties I've been to. Yeah. I have a Tim Tebow jersey and a Darrelle Revis jersey. And I'm either the ghost of Tim Tebow's career or I'm Darrelle Revis. And then if someone's like, that doesn't look like much of a costume, it's like, well, what else did you want me to do? I have a jersey on. I'm Darrelle Revis tonight. So get over it. I'm not good at the costumes. I always forget about this is a through theme of the show tonight. Is I forget when things are. I always forgot when Halloween was. A couple times I forgot as a kid. If my mom didn't tell me, Tim, you got to pick out a costume. There were a couple times where it was like, oh, the day of Halloween. I get home from school and I'm like, wait, tonight's Halloween. I need a costume. And then I was the Grim Reaper for like 3 years in a row. One year I made a werewolf costume and I thought it was so cool. And then I wore that for 4 years. So like that's. I'm doing the bare minimum to get by when it comes to Halloween. But the parties are fun. You need a costume so you can go to the parties, hang out, do good stuff. Simple costumes, great. Jersey, fine, whatever. If you go all out, that's good too. But you need enough to save face. You got to participate. You know what? We'll go right to this. Let's start with Tim Keck's top 5 Halloween tips. All right. This is my advice for a holiday that's already passed and how you can navigate it correctly. Some of these are for the adults. Some of these are for the kids. Number 5, kind of already talking about it. You got to dress up. You have to dress up. I don't want to dress up. I imagine a lot of you don't want to dress up. If you're a single adult, you have to. One, because the girls want to. That's why. That's what we're doing it. Why do men do anything? For the girls. You can't show up to a Halloween costume without a costume. One, it ruins it for everybody. You don't want to be that guy. It's like anything. You got to buy into it. You got to participate. You got to be in it. It gets you mentally prepared. Ooh, I put on a fancy hat. Cool. This is my Halloween thing. It's fun. No one's too cool for Halloween. I'm too lazy, but no one's too cool for it. If you're in a couple, that's great. That's super easy. As a dude, you can dress as dumb as you want and you just blame it on your girlfriend or whatever it is. Or you blame it on your significant other. I didn't want to dress up, but then she bought a Luigi costume. And so then I had to be Mario. And it's like, great, cool. This is neat. That's fine. That's fair. Awesome. Good job winning the costume contest. You got to dress up for Halloween. That's tip number 5. Number 4, you got to say thank you for stuff. Just out of good old kindness and courtesy. When you get candy, kids out there listening, you get candy, trick or treat, smell my feet, give me something good to eat. And then when they give you something good to eat, say thank you. This is a pain in the butt. As most things with kids, you don't realize what a pain in the ass things are until you're older, right? You're a little kid. You're like, well, everyone has candy. Of course they do. I got to get these full size candy bars. You're all about these full size candy bars. Little do you know that like, somebody spent like $5,000 on large candy bars. I don't know. The full size candy bar budget is out of control. You don't understand, kids out there, how tough it is for these parents. They have to go buy candy. They have to buy candy. People don't just buy candy. Kind of talked about that last episode, but adults don't just have candy in their houses all the time. It's always like brownies or something. I don't know. Just say thank you, kids. It's the least you can do. Number 3, wear a mask. And that's important because, well, COVID too, you don't want anyone to know who you are. Get a nice little costume that covers your whole face. Get a werewolf costume. Get a scream mask. That way you can vandalize things and nobody knows who you are. I hope you guys had fun on Mischief Night. Did you guys participate in the mischief of the Mischief Night? The night before Halloween, all the naughty kids and kidettes go out and they vandalize some stuff. Throw some eggs. TP some houses. I might have done a little bit of that as a kid. Might have done a little bit. Might have dabbled a little bit. Might have thrown some eggs. Might have TP'd some houses. Sure, it's a pain. Sure, people have to clean it up. And yeah, in the moment, it seems really awesome, though. And it is awesome. And it's a thrill. It's a rush in the moment. And then afterwards, you're like, oh, yeah, probably wasn't super nice. But whatever. It's fun. It's part of being a kid is ruining other people's night. So being a kid is. Number 2, rich neighborhoods. Don't be afraid to seek out a rich neighborhood. I hope you had a good haul this year. I hope you got all the candy you wanted. Hope you did everything you wanted to do. And you probably succeeded more so than anybody else if you had a rich neighborhood to go to. It's like TLC said, don't stick to the rivers and lakes that you're used to. Find the rich kid in your class, figure out where he lives, go to his neighborhood, sneak in. If they're a gated community, all the better. If you're in a gated community, people are, these rich people are just like, oh yeah, well, I only need to buy enough candy for the kids in my neighborhood, but so we can go all out, so we can get bigger candy things. Rich people have big candy bars, because you need a big budget to get a big old candy bar. And they're more willing to spend it on other rich kids. They don't want poor kids getting in. So if you can hop the gate and you're a poor kid or whatever kid you are, you can get some of this rich person candy, and that's great. More power to you. You're a hero. There were a couple times I went to like different neighborhoods and there were whole streets that nobody went to. And the parents were there. And at the end of the night, the people on the door were just like, nobody's coming down here. Just take even more candy. Guys, go to the sketchiest. That's my advice to all the kids watching. Next time, go to the worst, the weirdest, quietest, sketchiest neighborhood that it doesn't look like there's a lot of people at, because that's where the best candy is. If you're not risking your neck for candy, you don't want it bad enough. Speaking of which, tip number 1 for Halloween, if you're a kid, pillowcase. You got to get a pillowcase. You got to get a pillowcase. A couple years as a kid, I had just a little plastic pumpkin, a little tiny pumpkin I could carry my candy in. That thing filled up fast. That's a parent trick. These parents are trying to outsmart you. You get a little Christmas pail, little Halloween pail. It fills up quick with candy. And then we're done. We got to go home. We have so much candy. We filled up a bucket. Don't fall for it. Get a gigantic pillowcase and you fill that sucker up and you don't go home till it's full. Really, man, last episode I was talking about too, just like, wish I'd eaten all the candy. I never had one of those. I bet it's bad, probably good for me. Probably a good thing that I didn't, but just one of these days I'm going to eat a whole bag of candy and just pass out. Chocolate smeared all over my face, all over my body, all over my shirt next to the toothpaste stains. And that, everybody, is our top 5 tips for Halloween. Tim Keck's top 5 Halloween tips for a holiday that's already passed. Number 5, dress up. Number 4, say thank you. Number 3, wear a mask. Number 2, go to rich neighborhoods. And number 1, use a pillowcase. Guys, that's our show. Thank you very much for listening. Appreciate it. Please rate and review online wherever you're listening. Give me a 5 stars. Give me a little comment. Say how sweet and fun this is. I appreciate it, everyone. And next week's topic is going to be video games. We're going to talk about video games. If you have any questions or any comments or whatever, email the show, call the show, let me know. And the King stays king. Bye.